Live on YouTube, live on Rumble. Good afternoon. Welcome to the State in History, aka TDH. I, of course, am Xander, and we will be joined by the Golden Loot here soon. You, of course, are you, and today is Tuesday? Is it Tuesday? I forgot. I don't even know what day it is. Yeah, Tears' Day. March 10th, 2026. This show is, of course, about important and interesting events that occurred today throughout the annals of recorded history, starting with the year 120, or the year 241 BC. Battle of Aegatis Islands. Romans sunk the Carthaginian fleet, ending the First Punic War. And it says here, Battle of Aegatis, the Romans sunk the Carthaginian fleet, bringing the First Punic War to an end. 298, Roman Emperor Maximilian concluded his campaign in North Africa to make a triumphal entry into Carthage. 418, Jews were excluded from public office in the Roman Empire. Here we go again. 947, the later Han was founded by Liu Zhuhan. He declared himself emperor. Okay. 1198, the Giralda minaret, designed by architect Ben Ahmad for the Al-Ahmad Mosque in Seville, was completed. It is now the bell tower for Seville's cathedral. It's telling me to image search this, but I do have a... Oh, wait. This is a picture of that one naval battle that I spoke about. This is another image of that naval battle. Just found a couple images that looked pretty cool. And here's an image of that spire that I was talking about. That looks really nice. But let's check out why it told me to image search this. It might have been an image with text on it, but I'm not sure. Beautiful architecture though. Oh, but it doesn't look like there's text to read. Huh? They have like 3 towers, or I guess. I guess like the top like changed. It says here 3 stages of life in the Giralda. So were all three? Are these all separate towers, or are these depicting different religions taking over the building and changing a bit of it? Not entirely sure. Moving on up to 1496, but before we do, we are currently being joined by
Golden Loon.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah. 1496 here, after establishing the city of Santo Domingo, Christopher Columbus departed for Spain, leaving his brother in command. I didn't know Christopher Columbus had a brother. Well, learn something new every day.
No clue.
5035, Spanish Bishop of Panama, Tomás de Berlanga, discovered the uninhabited Galapagos Islands after a ship drifted off course. Just by chance on his way to Peru. So that's interesting there. Yeah. 1578, Queen Elizabeth I of England gave Johann Casimir £20,000 to aid Dutch rebellion. That's a heavy burden right there. Here, have some £20,000. Boof. 1629, English King Charles I dissolved Parliament for the 4th time in his reign, summoning a new Parliament 11 years later, only to be dissolved again after 3 months. Dude, make up your freaking mind, Charles. Come on. How many times does a king have to dissolve Parliament before he gets overthrown? 5 times? What the hell? But I think this guy was ultimately executed. Yeah, decapitation.
Oh, man.
Oh. So, yeah, I guess they got fed up with all that crap. 1762, French Huguenot Jean Calais, who was wrongly convicted of killing his son, died after being tortured by authorities. This event inspired Voltaire to begin a campaign for religious tolerance and legal reform. So Voltaire was involved in all that. 1783, USS Alliance under Captain Barry fought and won the final naval battle of the American Revolutionary War off Cape Canaveral.
Oh.
That's one way to launch us into the next thing. 1791, John Stone of Concord, Massachusetts, patented a pile driver. So, oops, did not mean to do that. The pile drivers, we still use stuff like that to this day.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm trying to find, here we go.
Yeah.
So, this is a blueprint if anybody is interested in it. So,
drives piles.
Yes, it does. 1791, the Pope condemned France's civil constitution of the clergy. Why? Don't really have the time to look that up. So if anybody would be so nice, let us know in the comment section. Why this occurred. 1800s now. 1801, we have the first official census in Great Britain, revealing a population of approximately 10 million people. All right. 1814, Emperor Napoleon I was defeated at the Battle of Lyon in France. That's a very rare occurrence. Yeah. And I I always found it interesting, the word defeat, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, where is the origin of the word? Like I always go off on these, like, little mental, you know, things and everything. To defeat somebody, you know, I'm just thinking, like, with the joke, like, you know, to disarm somebody, you rip off their arm, you know, disarmed, you know, well, I mean, like, maybe in that same vein, defeat, you take the feet off, then they fall over, they can no longer march, they can no longer fight, you know, defeated. I wonder if that has anything connection, or if I'm just being a freaking nut job. 1820,
I'll go with 2.
I think it's a little bit of both. 1820, Karl Kapuscin's opera Kalmora, or The Paternal Right of the Americans, premiered at the Warsaw Opera. That's an interesting name right there. The name of the production was Kalmora, or The Paternal Right of the Americans. Like, you know, like, for some reason it's popular every now and then to have multiple names for one product. Like, I don't think of any specifics right offhand aside from the one we just read. But, like you know, there's been, like, you know, some movies or some stage plays or something that's like, you know, yada yada, aka yada yada yada, or something. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I'm trying to think of...
Well, like, I'm not trying to get you to think of anything specific, but, like, do you know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. So, 1830, the KNIL, also known as the Royal Netherlands East Indies Army, was created. Now, that sounds kind of like the French Foreign Legion, which we will be talking about here in a minute. But, like, the Netherlands, of course, you know, being in Europe, East Indies is what, you know, eventually became India.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering, like, you know, is this a foreign legion or something, or is this like an occupying force? This is a military force for colonial, you know, interests and such. It says the Royal Netherlands East India Army, you know. But 1 year after that, and I wonder if, you know, once again, because this kind of sounds similar to that, but 1 year after that, on the same calendar date, I wonder if they're related, the French Foreign Legion was established by King Louis Philippe to support his war in Algeria. Ooh. So there we go.
I don't think they're related, though.
Well, like, not literally, but like one inspiring the other.
Oh,
you know?
okay. Well,
like, would they, you know, because this was like 1 year apart exactly. So.
Well, the Foreign Legion sounds like out of need. You know, we need people over there to take care of this.
Well, from the way this is written, it sounds like this was for, you know, colony actions. Well, I mean, it's obvious. Like, support his war in Algeria. You know, France is taking over. I think, wasn't Algeria a French colony? I think it was.
Yeah, could be.
1847, the first money was minted in Hawaii. All right. 1848, the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo was ratified by the United States Senate, ending the Mexican-U.S. War. Now, didn't we talk about that a while ago? I know we mentioned something about the Guadalupe Hidalgo Treaty a few weeks ago, and I think we might have mentioned it yesterday as well. But I know for a fact a few weeks ago, I don't know exactly what the date was, but that was when it was like signed. Oh yeah, we talked about signing. So there's a difference between signed and ratification, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay. Yeah. So we might have talked about the signing. 1849, Abraham Lincoln applied for a patent. He was the only U.S. president to do so, for a device to lift a boat over shoals and obstructions. So basically like a lifeboat or something. I'll show you the image here. But to explain it, like, this is his invention right here. From what it looks like, it looks like so you lift the boats up onto these planks that are like above the boats, and then you attach it to ropes, and then you bring it down. Like, you know how lifeboat systems like have all those pulleys and things. It was before all that. So it sounds, if I'm reading that correctly. 1861, West African political leader El Hajj Umar Tall seized the city of Segu, destroying the Babura Empire of Mali. Yikes! Or the Bamana. Wait a minute, hold on a second. The Bambara or the Bamana. That's weird. We have a discrepancy in the name of the empire. Anyway, 365 days later, in 1862, Great Britain and France recognized the independence of Zanzibar. Zanzibar. It won't be the only interesting, Z word that we're saying today, and as I'm checking for any potential comments. 1862, the U.S. issued first paper money in the form of a $5, $10, $20, $50, $100, $500, and $1,000 notes. So 100 years, or just under 100 years before the Confederacy, because remember we were talking about yesterday, the Confederacy, authorized their... And then we both were shocked at the 1,000.
Yeah.
Well, like 99 or whatever years before that, the U.S. had $1,000 notes in 18... Actually, no. Oh, I'm stupid. I'm very stupid right now. This was actually afterwards. Sorry. So, I completely misread. My brain read this as 1762 for some reason. Because this was actually during the Civil War.
Yeah.
Like, my brain just really went stupid there for a second. Anyway, 1873, the first Azerbaijani play, Azerbaijani, there we go. The Adventures of the Vizier of the Khan of Lankaran, prepared by Akhunadov, was performed by Hassan Bey Zardabi, and Dramatist, and Najif Bey Vizirov. I struggled through all that, but I just find that interesting. The first Azerbaijani play. Gotta give credit to the Azerbaijans. 1876, the first telephone call occurred in which Alexander Graham Bell said, quote, "Mr. Watson, come here, I want to see you," end quote, to his assistant Thomas Watson, of course, over the telephone.
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting. 1891, Almon Brown Stroger, an undertaker in Topeka, Kansas, patented the Stroger switch, a device which led to the automation of telephone circuit switching. Huh. That's cool. It's telling me to image search this. Oh, here's an image of those money, a couple of the dollars.
Okay, yeah.
And I found this interesting. This is 5, and that's 10, and then 25, and then 50. And I'm just like, you know what? Would they have the odd numbers be brown and the even numbers be green? Because, 10 and 50 are both green, and 5 and 25, they both have 5. They're brown. So,
well, I don't know.
That's a thought right there. And this is an image of that device that we just went over. At first glance, I have no idea what it does, how it works, or anything like that. So I'm just going to do a surface level scratch of this article here really quick. Oh, here we go. In 1891, Almon Brown Stroger, an undertaker... Okay, this is just the same thing here. Invented the Stroger switch after a local phone operator sabotaged his business. Wow. Wow, that's rude. Did you hear that?
Sabotage what?
His business.
Oh, his business.
So let me read this from the beginning. In 1891, Almon Brown Stroger, an undertaker, invented the Stroger switch after a local phone operator sabotaged his business, forever changing communication by eliminating human operators. His invention made him a fortune, but he sold the patents for just $1,800 before his death, with Bell Systems later buying them for $2.5 million. Wow. So he got screwed over multiple times.
Yeah.
That sucks. What else do we got here? 1893, Ivory Coast became a French colony known as Côte d'Ivoire. And we also have New Mexico State University canceled its first graduation ceremony. Its only graduate hold on a second, that's weird. 1893. Its only graduand. That's a weird word. Is that a word?
Graduand.
Graduand.
Never heard of that.
Neither have I. I guess that means like it's only graduates? Or maybe that's a spelling error. Its only graduate, Stan Steele, was robbed and killed the night before. What? Oh, well, actually that would make sense. Okay. So if I'm reading this correctly, and if this was meant to say
one graduate,
and he was killed.
Yeah.
So why have a ceremony?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's its first graduation. So wow. That's awful. 1900, Regents for the King of Uganda and leading chiefs signed a treaty with Great Britain, agreeing to the organization of the government, taxation, courts, military, and other functions of their country, which is under British protection. Sounds like control. 1902, United States Court of Appeals ruled that Thomas Edison did not invent the movie camera. Good. Then why do people still attribute him to being the inventor of the movie camera? This is why I truly despise Thomas Alva Edison. Like, he stole the creations of so many people that we'll never know the names of. It's just sickening. But at least we have a shred of justice now in history. So this is good. This is very good. 903, Harry Gantner of Cleveland patented the multigraph duplicating machine. What is that? Multigraph duplicating machine. While I'm looking that up, do you have any idea?
To a mimeograph.
Huh. And actually, no, this is an image of that. So that telegraph thing, no, this was a completely different thing. So yeah, it even says it on the name. Open. It says here multigraph. So my bad. I'm just screwing up all over the place today. I don't know what's wrong with my mind. But yeah, he invented this thing. What is this thing?
Print stuff.
Print?
Yeah, mimeographs. That's.
Oh, okay.
It's gonna make copies.
Oh, okay. 906, Baker Street and Waterloo Railway opened, constructed by the Underground Electric Railways Company of London. The contraction Bakerloo became the official name in July of 1906, so in a few months. So, yeah, Bakerloo, Baker Street and Waterloo. Let's go to the Bakerloo. I like that. It's kind of like the Channel Tunnel. We also have Europe's worst mining accident when a coal dust explosion killed 1,060 people at carriers in France. And the other source says 1,099 miners in northern France. So, slight death toll discrepancy, but still, over 1,000.
Yeah.
1910, Republic of China officially abolished slavery. Good. 1913, William Knox became the first in American, or I guess U.S. Bowling Congress, or American Bowling Congress, to bowl a 300.
Oh.
All right. 1914, suffragists in London damaged Roxbury's painting Venus of Velasquez. I understand some people feel oppressed, and in many, occasions they may be. But to go around and cause property damage, damage to a painting, or like spray painting a Christmas tree, or gluing your hand to the floor to stop traffic from, dude, you're just making your point look bad. By doing all this negative stuff, you're not making your point look good in any way. You're just making people hate you. And I just can't fathom why people still do it to this day. You've seen the video of somebody throwing tomato sauce on some...
Yeah.
Why? Seriously, why? What's going through your head? How, in any reality, is that going to work out well for you? And I'm not insinuating that you're going to get your teeth kicked in, which you might and you should, but... You're destroying art. What end game do you think is going to come of it? It makes no sense.
Recognition.
Stupid. 1917, Batangas was formally founded as one of the Philippines' earliest encomiendas.
What?
I don't know. Encomiendas.
Okay.
That didn't help at all. I'm just gonna look up this word here. Encomienda, a grant by the Spanish crown to a colonist in America, conferring the right to demand tributes and forced labor from the Indian inhabitants of the area. Oh, yikes. So basically, a green light for slavery, for Spanish stuff. So I'm going to add that into the underbar section here really quick. This link will be down there after the live stream. So for now, you can look it up yourself while you're watching this show. Moving on up, what else do we got here? 1920, Home Rule Act was passed by the British Parliament, dividing Ireland into two parts. It was rejected by the southern counties, where the Anglo-Irish War continued for a year. Just let Irish be free. How about that? 1922, Mahatma Gandhi was arrested in India, tried for sedition, and sentenced to 6 years in prison, only to be released after nearly 2 years for an appendicitis operation. I remember covering that. Not when it happened, of course,
Yeah.
but in previous editions of the show. To 1925, Cyprus became a British Crown colony, and Walter Mittenhauser was the first to fly over Mount Demmenwald in Iran. All right. 1 century ago, in 1926, a run on Belgian banks. That never ends
Not
well.
good, no.
Oh, here we go. Hitler's coming up. Oh, boy. 1927, Albania mobilized due to threats from the Kingdom of Serbs, Croats, and Slovenes. And Bavaria lifted a ban on Adolf Hitler's speeches. I had no idea.
Wow.
I had no idea that Hitler was making speeches, especially as far back as to have Bavaria lift a ban in 1927. That's 6 years before he started coming to power, to my knowledge.
Yeah, well, he was out there giving a lot of speeches and getting a lot of attention for it.
But like, when did he?
Tell you it was that far back.
When did he start though? 23, 24?
I don't know.
25? Like, weird. 1933, a major earthquake at 6.4 magnitude in Long Beach, California, killed 120 people and destroying 70 school buildings.
Wow.
Now, why did we have 70 school buildings? What? Why do we even have 70 school buildings today? Why do we need so many institutions of education? Like,
of course we have 70 school buildings.
But I mean, in 1933, would the population have been that much?
Apparently so.
I mean, like, that has to include not just, like kindergarten and grade school, but colleges, universities. Maybe just, different buildings and universities.
Buildings is not a campus.
Yeah, true. So, well, what an odd thing to calculate now that I think about it. 70 school buildings. Okay, well, what about apartment offices? What about, office blocks? What about homes? So, interesting. 1933, Nevada became the first U.S. state to regulate narcotics. That's kind of interesting.
Regulate what?
Narcotics.
Oh.
1937, Benny Goodman unofficially crowned the King of Swing at New York City's Paramount Theater as his band played before an exuberant sellout crowd filled with teenagers. Unable to attend nightclub performances, kids danced in the aisles. Wow. 1939, 17 villages were damaged by hailstones in Hyderabad, India. Yeah, like, recently it was, I don't remember where it was, but somewhere it hailed a lot. Not Tucson, Phoenix. Recently, it hailed. It looked like it would snowed.
Huh.
Like, hold on a second. Let me bring this up here really quick. Hail in Phoenix. Yeah, it's a huge thing right now. This was. Oh, actually, apparently this video was 3 months ago here, but let me play this. Sorry that it's a stupid short. I hate shorts, but look, that's Phoenix, Arizona, November 19th, 2025. Wow. What? How is that Phoenix?
Wow.
It gets to 120 degrees over there. How is that possible? 1941, Lee McPhail, Dodger GM, predicted all players will wear batting helmets. I don't think that's much of a prediction, more as like, I mean, like, can you predict something like batting helmets? Because, like, that's so easy to claim a prediction when you can just, make it into a mandate. I don't know. Yeah. It's weird. Like, how do you predict something like that? I mean, well, you're standing there holding a bat, a ball's flying at you at like 90 miles per hour or more.
Yeah.
Obviously coming at you. The idea of wearing a helmet is not, does not take two brain cells to rub together to formulate such a concept. Right. So how do you predict such a thing? Obviously it's coming.
Yeah.
So, 1945, deadliest air raid in World War II sets Tokyo on fire after a nighttime B-29 bombings. More than 100,000 people died, mostly civilians. We covered this yesterday, and as I say, it's a very disgusting fact. Killing civilians wins wars. The soldiers are out there to fight the other soldiers, but who feeds them, who makes the guns, makes their gear, gets the fuel? Civilians, And this picture does not do it justice. I want to show this to you. And, most people would just be like, oh, look at all the clouds. Us being Californian citizens, we're very used to wildfires. Look at the whole city is engulfed. Like, that is horrifying. Look at that.
Yeah.
Like lean in. I know it's very small.
I can see it.
But those aren't clouds. That's all. Like, you can see, it's all smoke. But it's from here. Yeah. Holy cats, man. 1945 as well. Japan granted occupied Vietnam independence. And as I said yesterday, we covered this yesterday.
Yeah. Maybe
by the transitive property, we can, thank Japan for the Vietnam War. Because if it wasn't for them, but then again, I'm against colonies and everything, so France and China should have never been a thing to begin with. So, who has blame? None has blame.
Well,
all have blame.
France got in there after that.
No, France already had it.
Oh.
France had French Indochina before the outbreak of World War II. So, 1948, first civilian to exceed the speed limit, or the speed of sound, that's why I guess the speed limit of sound, was Herb H. Hoover, not to be confused with Herbert Hoover or J. Edgar Hoover, who is like floating here. This is some other guy. Herb H. Hoover at Edwards Air Force Base in California. Good old Triple H, Herb H. Hoover. So, 1949, Millard Gillier's Axis Sally was convicted of treason. And I don't know if that's fair, because she might have been, saying all that propaganda against her, against her wishes, like Tokyo Rose. Although that was not just one person, that was a group of people, as we later found out. But, I mean, didn't they try her, Tokyo Rose, for treason, but she was later pardoned or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
So I wonder if that's the same thing with this. Is this Mildred Gillers, was she a treason, or did she do this against her will, and, she was just being charged with crimes that she did commit, but against her will? Justice needs to be done. 1951, FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover declined a post of baseball commissioner. Now, this is weird. Didn't, Bowie Kahn or Tennessee Mountain Landis or somebody in baseball decline a position in the FBI or something as well? There's a tie with baseball and the government more than this article. Cause I swear.
I don't know where you're going with that. I'm not aware of it.
Hold on a second. Landis. Let's see if I can find it. Here we go. Kennesaw Mountain Landis. Yeah, here we go. Kennesaw Mountain Landis was a United States federal judge from 1905 to 1922 and was the first commissioner of baseball from 1920 until his death in 1944. So he went from being a judge to being, baseball commissioner. So right there, that's kind of connecting what I'm saying, government to baseball, if you're following me. Are you not following me?
I don't see what, so he is a judge. So they try to get an outstanding member of society, and they pick a judge to be the first commissioner. I don't see the tie with government and baseball.
Well, it says here, from the article I just read, 1951, FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, Director J. Edgar Hoover, declined a post of baseball commissioner.
Okay.
So why is the FBI director getting approached to be a baseball commissioner, in the same vein as Kennesaw Mountain Landis went from being a judge to the baseball commissioner? What is with baseball and government, is what I'm saying.
I think they're looking for outstanding individuals to be the commissioner of baseball, which J. Edgar Hoover's name would have been very pronounced, and a feather in their cap to get him to be the commissioner.
Yeah, I swear, I'm trying to find, maybe, I don't think I'm not finding anything, I guess not. I could have sworn there was an article that he was approached to become the FBI director while he was the baseball commissioner, Kennesaw Mountain Landis, that is. Anyway, 1952, military coup led by General Fulgencio Batista in Cuba. Here we go.
Yeah.
Yep. 1956, thousands of soccer fans riot in Italy. Actually, that happened in 1957. I misread stuff here. I just want to know why this happened, but we have here in 1956, Peter Twist set new world air record of 1,132 miles per hour, or 1,823 kilometers per hour. Okay, that's pretty fast. 1959, the Tibetan uprising against Chinese occupation force in Lhasa, Tibet, occurred. Fearing an abdication attempt by China, thousands of Tibetans surrounded the Dalai Lama's palace to prevent his removal. Yeah, I still got to watch that movie Kundun. If you remember what that is, if not, it's basically about the life of one of the Dalai Lamas. And this one, I showed you the clip. Remember Dalai Lama talking to Mao Zedong? And I pointed out the shoes and everything? That's a scene from the movie.
Okay.
So, 1960, USSR agreed to stop nuclear testing. Obviously, they didn't. 62, gala preview dinner was held atop the Space Needle in Seattle, Washington, prior to its opening of the 21st exposition, the World's Fair. And I have here an image of that. Now, it has a different paint job, right? It's more of a silverish. I don't remember it being this color.
I don't know what it is now. That's Seattle, not here in L.A.
Yes, as I read.
Yeah.
Space Needle in Seattle.
Yeah. So I don't know the color of it. I don't remember.
Oh, okay. Anyway, 1963, Major League Baseball infielder Pete Rose debuted in Cincinnati at spring training in Tampa, Florida, hitting his first 2 at-bats. All right. 1964, Simon and Garfunkel recorded the first version of The Sound of Silence at Columbia Studios in New York City. And we also have a U.S. reconnaissance plane was shot down over East Germany. That's not good.
No.
1965, this is weird. I've Got a Tiger by the Tail album by Buck Owens was released, later to receive the Billboard album of the Year in 1965. What in the eeny, meeny, miny, mo is happening with this? What kind of a I Got a Tiger by the Tail? What? And weird.
Yeah, Buck Owens, yeah.
1966, the 5-time U.S. Horse of the Year was Kelso, retiring from racing. Alright, so this is when he retired, I guess. 1968, North Vietnamese and Communist Laotian troops overran a secret U.S. radar facility, Lima Site 85, on a Laos mountaintop. Ooh, that's not good. And I had no idea Laotia was involved with the Vietnam War. I knew Cambodia was, but
yeah, Laotia also.
Yeah. That makes sense. I mean, like, there's a Khan Zufaphone, or whatever the hell his name is, from King of the Hill. He's from Laos and everything. 1969, James Earl Ray pled guilty to the murder of Martin Luther King Jr. In Memphis, Tennessee. He later unsuccessfully attempted to recant. You can't recant from that. Are you out of your mind? Wow. 1970, South Africa cricket team completed a 4-0 series drubbing of Australia and South Africa in the country's last official international cricket test for 22 years. Wow, that's impressive. 71, U.S. Senate approved amendment lowering voting age to 18.
Yeah.
You know, which...
It was 21.
Yeah, you want to let them know?
No.
Like no, let the audience know, like, why, because you were there when it happened.
Yeah, well, it was 21, and they reduced it down to 18, only because 18 you're considered an adult and everything else.
Yeah.
So, I don't have any great story about it.
Well, no, because the draft, they were drafting 18-year-olds because they were considered, but they, so
you can't vote, but you're being drafted.
Yeah, you can go fight and die for a country you have no voice in. How does that make sense?
Yeah,
so
that's true.
That's what I'm talking about. 1971 as well, John Gorton resigned as Prime Minister of Australia and the leader of the Liberal Party of Australia after a secret ballot vote of confidence, being replaced in both positions by William McMahon. I tried to switch to Australia and then I went to British for a second. So, 1972, first black U.S. political convention opened in Gary, Indiana. 1973, Morocco adopted a constitution. That's good. 74, Christian Democrats. Here we go again with this, with this, what's the word? Contradiction. When Belgium parliamentary election, the 1974 Belgian general elections were held in Belgium for all 212 seats in the Chamber of Representatives, the Belgian Socialist Party taking the majority with 59. So yeah, Christian Democrats are socialists. That explains why, this makes no sense. They're socialists. They're probably only calling themselves Christian Democrats so they can get Christians and people of democratically mindset to vote for their side. It's all mind games with those people. 1974, Lawrence Rowe completed 302 versus Ing Bridgetown, 36 fours and 1 6. I'm waiting for you to.
That's gotta be.
Yeah, it is. 75, dog spectacles were patented in England. Yes, dog spectacles. Spectacles, glasses for your dog.
Great.
And if you think I'm full of hot air, let me show you a few images here. Dog spectacles.
Okay.
Now these are actually designed to be put on dogs. Like, you see, like, they have these straps here for around. Because we humans think we're hot shit for whatever reason. And here, see, like, it goes a wrap around everything. Dog spectacles.
Yeah.
They're real. I don't know. We're a very weird species. So, 1975, Vietnam War, Ho Chi Minh Campaign. North Vietnamese troops attacked Ban My Thuot in the south on their way to capture Saigon in the final push for victory over South Vietnam. Yep. It's a real shame, man. We had it in the bag, but the people, I've covered this before. We actually had won the Vietnam War in, 1971 or whatever. Like, the North had capitulated. They were done. But the people who are always, will be and always will be, the power is the people, the Viet Cong kept going. And then eventually the government, the North Vietnamese, got back in there, and we eventually ultimately lost. Because, in all actuality, as I said earlier, the French shouldn't have even had a colony there. you know?
True.
And then the Japan came in, liberated them, or more like under new management, but granted them independence, and then that's what started the whole thing and everything, and then, you know, France, and then because of allies, we got involved. And it's just a mess. Fuck off and leave people to their own devices. How about that for a concept, you know? Like, a lot of problems can be solved literally overnight if we stop with the ridiculousness. 1977, rings of Uranus were discovered during occultation of Sao. That sounds incredibly filthy. Astronomers discovered the rings of Uranus. So, yeah, they had long suspected that Uranus had rings, but the actual discovery happened by accident. A team of 3 astronomers was using NASA's Kuiper Airborne Observatory to observe the atmosphere of Uranus and just happened to see the rings. So, clearly, it needs toilet paper. So, 78, The Incredible Hulk, starring Bill Bixby as David Banner and Lou Ferrigno as his green alter ego, the Hulk, premiered on CBS. 79, Ubi Blake, a 92-year-old ragtime piano player and composer, as well as Gregory Hines, were the musical guests on Saturday Night Live. 79 as well, the 1979 International Women's Day protests in Tehran. Here we go again. Protester involvement peaked with 15,000 Iranian women and girls performing a 3-hour-long sit-in at the courthouse of Tehran. 81, Betty Davis Eyes single was released by Kim Carnes, later to receive the Billboard Song of the Year in 1981. Was a good song.
Yeah.
82, this is a weird word. Sazaigi. All 9 planets align on the same side of the sun. Mercury to Pluto align on the same side of the sun. Now, this is weird because we had this whole conversation the other day. Now, this is from another source. My other source is counting Pluto as a planet.
Hey, there you go.
See? You didn't even catch that.
No,
All
I
9
didn't.
planets recognized at this time, Mercury to Pluto.
Oh man. Yeah.
You know, now if you were a real,
Of course, this is also
if you were a
82.
real Pluto supporter, you would have caught that. So you're just spouting off steam, you boomer. But no, seriously, like this is more or less what it looked like. And you know, whenever we look at the planets, like, you know, in a grade school solar system display, it's usually, you know, displayed like this. But like mostly, it looks like this. If it lets me click there. Mostly it looks like, you know, just all random, like, you know, there. But at one point, it actually was lined up in conjunction. And with the word conjunction said, I have to play this. If it plays. Play!
Now, ask what the Great Conjunction is. What's the Great Conjunction?
Anybody who's watched The Dark Crystal, you know, good movie. 1982, the United States planned an embargo on Libyan petroleum imports because of their support of terrorist groups. That would cause it. 82 as well, Travis Jackson and former Commissioner Happy Chandler were elected to Baseball's Hall of Fame. Any names you recognize from that? We also have U.S. President Reagan proclaimed economic sanctions against Libya. And I was asking why, but we have a double there. So I don't know why, but for whatever reason, the primary source has it labeled twice. Because we have it right here, you know, we just spoke about that. And then here, it's the same thing. Why are they giving 2 articles to the same event? Why not combine them? That's very odd. I mean, it's not as if they're not doing something every day. Well, I catch them doing edits every day.
Yeah.
So, you know. 83, former Brooklyn / Los Angeles Dodgers manager Walter Alston was elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Yeah, Walter Alston, great baseball manager for the Dodgers.
Nice. 86, Ernie Lombardi, National League MVP from 1938, and Bobby Doerr were elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame. This was removed from the primary source. Goes from 85 to 87, so they don't even cover 86. 87, Vatican formal opposition to test tube fertilization and embryo transfer. That makes sense. Coincides with their beliefs. 1990. Now this is another example of the importance of multiple sources. We have Prosper Avril resigned as the president of Haiti, according to our primary source.
Okay.
Okay. that's a whatever article. I would have never read that.
Yeah.
The other source says in Haiti, Prosper Anvil was ousted 18 months after seizing power in a coup d'etat in September 1988. That's a little bit more substantial.
Yeah.
Why don't they talk about any of that in here? Are they trying to protect him for some whatever reason? That's weird. You know, it's not as if they have an aversion to talking about coups. They cover them all the time. Why not here? That's weird. 1993, physician David Gunn was shot and killed by anti-abortionist Michael Frederick Griffin in Pensacola, Florida, the first anti-abortion murder of a doctor in the U.S. Yikes.
Terrible.
Yeah. See, you know, this, it just boggles my mind. So you're against the abortion. You're against the concept of somebody potentially taking the life out of a womb, so you're going to take a life outside of a womb. How does that make any sense? You know?
Yeah.
Like, you're no better than the evil that you say that you're fighting in your belief. 97, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, created by Josh Wheaton and starring Sarah Michael Gellar, premiered on the WB television network. We also have the Palm Pilot, was developed by Jeffrey Hawkins, was released on this calendar day. Yeah. The predecessor to the smartphone, you know, what we now have today. Look at that. I mean, look at that image, and look at your smartphone. You know, it's, you know, that's crazy. Now, in the year 2000, NASDAQ Composite Stock Market Index peaked at 5,132.52, signaling the beginning of the end of the dot-com bubble. And the other source says it peaked at 5,048.62. We have a slight number discrepancy, but still. 2006, Mars Reconnaissance Rover arrived at Mars. All right, as it should. We also had mass unrest by the PCC crime syndicate in Sao Paulo, Brazil, eventually killed more than 152 people. Wow. You know, these countries need to get control of their countries. 2010, Carlos Slim became the first Mexican in person from an emerging economy to top Forbes' richest person lists, with net worth of $53.5 billion US dollars. So the first Mexican billionaire, maybe.
Yeah.
I wonder if he is. No, which is really interesting. You know, you look at Mexico and you don't think, you know, that would be, you know, ever in a million years a land of, you know, somebody coming out that wealthy. But, you know, this guy...
Well, they have wealthy people now.
They do, but billions? You know?
Well,
so...
Yeah.
2012, at least 130 rockets were fired into Israel from Gaza. Here we go. 2015, Marvin Gaye's family won a record $7.3 million lawsuit for music copyright infringement against Robin Thicke, Pharrell Williams, and T.I. T.I., why does that sound so familiar? 2017, South Korean judges upheld Parliament's decision to impeach President Park Geun-hye. Alright. 2018, 16 people died after being struck by lightning at a church in Nyagario district, Rwanda. That is outrageous beyond my comprehension. God killed them. I mean, that's the only thing that can explain it. They got struck by lightning at a church. I mean, unless it's an act of Zeus... That, to me, sounds like, you know, a predecessor to the rapture, if anything. We also have two girls at the age of 8 and 6 become the first female weightlifters to appear on Iranian television after a protest.
Yikes.
Wait, time out. Nothing makes sense here. We have 8 and 6-year-old girls.
Yeah.
They're weightlifters. What the hell does that have to do with anything involving a protest?
I don't know.
Like... It sounds like I have 3 stories merged into one here. What's going on? Let me look this up here. Now it's taking me to weightlifting. Huh. Well, I guess they lifted after the protests for some kind of... But these don't look 8 and 6 years old.
Those are not.
So, I'm not getting any images. This is... Let's see if I can find anything. You know, weightlifters, Iran's strongest women. But what about this? But what is this? Why is this article? Why? If anybody can let us know in the comment section, that'd be swell. What else we got here? 2019, Ethiopian Airlines flight ET-302 crashed just after takeoff from Addis Ababa, killing all 157 on board. This was a Boeing 737 MAX, and this crash resulted in all Boeing 737 Maxes, all 387 of them worldwide, to be grounded.
Yeah.
So that's crazy. 2020, Russian lower house of parliament passed legislation to allow Vladimir Putin to hold office of president for life. I don't think he's going to be there for too much longer the way things are going right now. 2020, video gaming platform Roblox went public on the New York Stock Exchange, valued at $45 billion.
Jeez.
And I'd have to presume that it's vastly lower than that now after all the freaking allegations. I'm trying to think of a word that I can say. Like pedophiles, dude. Like, it was a huge problem over there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dude. Oh, predators galore. Oh my God. So
What would attract them to that?
a bunch of kids playing the game.
Well, kids play all games.
Yeah, but like they're I don't know, like they relaxed with their rules, and some speculate even like the developers and the people who own the thing were predators as well. I don't know, but it was a massive thing, and it's still going on today. Actually, I think. Anyway, 2022, the Hungarian presidential election, the National Assembly of Hungary elected former Minister for Family Affairs Caitlin Novak as president of Hungary in a 137 to 51 vote, becoming the first female president in the country's history. Cool. That's awesome. That was for, Hungary? All right. Isn't Hungary, is Hungary an Islamic nation? Or no, they're not. They're European.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking of Turkey. Well, I'm getting hungry. I'd like some turkey right now, So, 2023, arch rivals Iran and Saudi Arabia agreed to re-establish diplomatic ties between them in a surprise move after talks in Beijing. And how well did that work out for you? A couple days ago, things weren't doing too good there. 2023, California Silicon Valley Bank, the main bank for tech startups, collapsed after a sudden bank run and credit crisis. Largest U.S. bank fail since 2008. Remember all that? Everything was like going crazy for a while and all that stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure there's still some issues that we don't know. Something's going on behind the scenes here. We also have Gary Lineker, the BBC's highest paid presenter, was suspended for tweeting UK government's immigration policy, a quote, immeasurably cruel policy directed at the most vulnerable people in language that is not dissimilar to that used by Germany in the 30s, end quote. You want to talk about tyranny? By doing this to this guy, you're infringing on his ability to talk. If he's wrong, then he's wrong. But by doing this to him, you're proving him right. The United Kingdom is a tyrannical fascist state right now. 2023, researchers in Singapore named newly discovered cockroach after the Pokemon character of Pheromosa. Wow, I'm an old guy. I can't even pronounce Pokemon names yet. I'm old. Noctitolida Pheromosa. All right. We also have Thai health authorities reported 1.3 million people have suffered air pollution-related diseases in 2023 in northern Thailand due to smog, nearly 125 times the World Health Organization standards from farm burning and forest fires. Yikes. Xi Jinping, aka Winnie the Pooh, appointed to a historic third term as president of China, previously restricted to 2 terms. And that kind of reminds me of, the whole thing going on around Trump. I don't know who's saying what, but somewhere the rumor is saying that Trump will be seeking a third term because of non-consecutive terms, therefore he can have more than 2 terms. Or maybe somebody else made that up, I don't know. But then, also, we covered, this is the anniversary of Putin being selected president for life. So I wonder if China did the same thing intentionally on this calendar date. To coincide with Putin becoming dictator.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, who knows?
2024, the 96th Academy Awards, Best Film Oppenheimer. Yes.
Yay.
Best Director Christopher Nolan, acting Cillian Murphy, Emma Stone, Robert Downey Jr., Da'Vine Joy Randolph, Ryan Gosling sings I'm Just Ken. Okay, whatever the hell that is. Oppenheimer, though, great movie. 2024, first pig liver transplanted into a clinically dead human for 10 days, and milestone test for animal organ transplants into people at Xining Hospital, Xi'an, China. Yeah.
A dead person.
Yeah. So, I don't know what they're thinking of doing. Did they reanimate the dead person? Like, do we have zombies now? What the hell is China doing? And last but not least, 2025, just this time last year, NASA became the first U.S. federal agency to begin firing career employees under President Trump's downsizing directives. I think that's Doge, right?
Yeah.
All that stuff. And that shall conclude the show for today. Once again, please check the underbar in the description below for any links that you may find interesting, but not limited to all things Omni Coalition. A lot of history has and continues to be made on a daily basis. We can only bring you a portion for more. Look at all this. This is just from 2 sources. To expand upon your path of self-education, please check our underbar, check the sources. It's up to you to find the artifacts of our history, but only if each individual reaches out with and for open mindfulness, with a yearn to learn, to see outside what you think you know, to grow and find enlightenment. We have to find common ground with those who see their opinions differently from our own and find a better way to be better to one another. For your dose of Passive Events Daily, we stream at 5 p.m. Pacific Time, 6 Mountain, 7 Central, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, respectively. For all of you and all of us, I'm Xander.
Golden Loon.
And you, viewer, you. Don't forget to tell in, my brain. Until you catch us next time, whenever it is, wherever it is, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Toodles! Wow, I'm
You're tongue-tied today.
Just all screwed up.
I'm gonna go get a